Right now, at this exact moment, as you read this sentence, somewhere on earth, someone is thinking about you. Can I prove that? No. But statistically, the odds are much higher than you think, and that fact is going to keep you up tonight. This might sound strange, but stop for a second and think about it. How many people have you met in your life so far? Family, friends, old lovers, co-workers who came and went. That one classmate from elementary school, a stranger you talked to exactly once. Numerically, the average person meets thousands of people in a lifetime, and the odds that not a single one of those thousands is thinking of you right now are lower than you'd expect. Here, let's take a detour. In the 1990s, psychologists ran a strange experiment. They sat two strangers in a room and had them stare into each other's eyes for 4 minutes. No talking, just looking. But then something strange happened. After the 4 minutes, a significant number of participants said the same thing. I think that person is still thinking about me right now. 4 minutes of eye contact was enough to carve another person's presence into the brain, permanently. But here's where a stranger question emerges. If 4 minutes of eye contact leaves that much of a mark, then what about a family you've lived with for years? What about a lover you spent months loving? How deeply are you carved into their minds? And this is exactly where everything changes. We tend to make a mistake. We assume that when a relationship ends, the thinking ends too. That when contact breaks, existence breaks with it. But neuroscience tells a different story. Once a strong emotional memory forms, the brain cannot deliberately erase it. The person you think you've forgotten hasn't actually disappeared. They just haven't had a trigger. A few notes of a song, a familiar scent of perfume, a similar tone of voice, and in that instant, they resurface, whether you want them to or not. And here's the part almost no one talks about. While you're not thinking of someone, that person could be thinking of you. Like a time difference, emotion doesn't flow in sync. While one person misses someone, the other might feel nothing. While one believes they've moved on, the other might whisper that name every single night. We exist inside each other's minds, at completely different speeds. Now let's ask a darker question. The person who thinks of you the most might not be the person closest to you right now. In psychology, there's a name for this, the Zeigarnik effect. The human brain remembers unfinished stories far longer than finished ones. A relationship that ended happily, cleanly, tends to fade quickly. But a relationship that ended without explanation, a goodbye you never got to say, a person you left without closure, that person stays frozen on replay, forever, somewhere in your mind. Which means the person thinking about you the most right now might not be the person you love the deepest. It might be the person you walked away from, without a word. Unsettling, isn't it? You may believe that relationship is long over, but somewhere, in someone else's mind, you might still be playing on a loop. But this isn't even the worst part. Here's something more uncomfortable. We can never enter another person's mind. Not once, not ever. While you miss someone, you will never know what's actually happening inside their head. Whether they smile when they think of you, or whether they think of nothing at all, you will never, ever know. We are all locked rooms to each other, rooms with no doors. And this, actually, is what this video has really been about all along. This was never about probability. This is about loneliness. Why we check social media. Why we search an old name just to see. Why a delayed text message makes us anxious. It all comes down to one question. Do I still exist in someone's mind right now? Humans are instinctively terrified of becoming unobserved. We don't just want to be loved. We want to not be forgotten. One more thing before we end. If today, out of nowhere, a certain person's face crossed your mind, if a name resurfaced after years of silence, you could call that a coincidence. But some people believe something else. In that exact moment, maybe they were thinking of me too, somewhere. It cannot be proven, but it cannot be disproven either. And that single, unanswerable gap is exactly why this question has held humanity captive for so long. So tonight, before you fall asleep, if a face suddenly appears in your mind, don't ask why they came to you now. Instead, consider this. Maybe, somewhere, right now, they are thinking of you too. We spend our entire lives never knowing who is holding us in their memory. And maybe that is the quietest truth about being human.